Tyler and I have not spoken to each other. Well, that's not true. But we haven't spoken to each other about this, about the Packers win since last night. Everybody who is listening, hold yourselves accountable. Raise your hand if you thought Jordan Love was a bust. Raise your hand if you thought the Lions game was a fluke. Raise your hands if you thought the 4 weeks prior to the Lions game was a fluke. That's what I thought. Jordan Love is the real deal. The real deal. Outplayed Patrick Mahomes by a mile head to head. The Packers dominated the Chiefs. Dominated the Chiefs. We made the Chiefs cry. Cry for their little pass interference call.
Bitch.
Cry. Cry about your pass interference call. Cry. I am so happy Jonathan Owens popped Patrick Mahomes on the sideline too.
He was still in bounds.
He was in bounds. He was fighting for. We'll get into it.
He was trying to get off. Yeah.
We'll get into it.
I'll go first. I mean, you got your part. I'm going to say my part.
Go.
Jordan Love. He keeps raising the bar. It's seemingly every week. He just gets better and better statistically with his poise, with his confidence, with his throws, his accuracy. I mean, he can bomb the ball. I mean, the last, 3 games against.
No, it's been since that Rams game. 4 weeks.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm more so going through the gauntlet of the last 3 games. Chargers blew through Justin Herbert. In these last 3 games, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They beat the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Then they go in and beat the Lions, who are
the brakes off the Lions.
Yeah, potential Super Bowl favorites. And now Patrick Mahomes, quote unquote, the MVP of the league, 2-time NFL MVP, and he outplays him by a lot. I mean, his confidence, he mentions it all the time. His confidence is growing. And he's just getting more comfortable in the pocket. And it's really exciting, especially considering we have such a young team. We have the receivers are so young. Wicks, Reed, Watson, Dobbs, all 24 and under. Like, it's crazy.
I have 2 major points to make. Number 1, as I told you, I called Jordan Love since the day he's been drafted. And now it's fully coming into fruition. All of the Jordan Love now supporters are coming out of the woodworks to come hang out with all the cool guys that called it from the start. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, you are this man, the throws that he is making, the confidence he airs, the poise that he has is not a coincidence. This is real. What you are seeing, this arm talent, this accuracy, it's not a coincidence that all of these young receivers and this young quarterback are growing together as a team and they are playing their best football right now. This is not a coincidence. And I'd like to make a couple points. As I said the Packers, after they won that Rams game, they were going to go 8-2 the rest of the way. No, wait, what was it? Yeah, 8-2 the rest of the way. I got laughed out. And here, now I'm changing it. 9-1. They're going to beat I said that they were going to lose to the Steelers and the Chiefs. The rest
of the Jesus.
And they beat the Chiefs.
So they're only going to lose one more game. And who's that going to be to?
They're not losing another game.
Oh, they're winning out.
They're winning out.
Holy shit.
They have nothing but trash on their calendar the rest of the way. They got the Giants. They got the Panthers. They got the Buccaneers. They got the Bears. They got the Vikings. Those are all winnable games.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this right now.
The only one that I mean, honestly, all of those games, besides the Buccaneers, I'm a little nervous for the Buccaneers. I don't know if we could win that game for sure, but the rest of them, I mean, we got Dobbs and we got Danny DeVito. Bryce Young's an absolute disaster. The Bears are always a disaster.
Dude, exciting. You are seeing a team right now. First of all, I'm going to throw this out of left field. Let's make a couple of assumptions for fun, right? Let's make a couple of assumptions. Jordan Love averages 2 touchdowns a game for the rest of the way. Feasible or no?
2 to 2.5
touchdowns a game the rest of the way? Okay. Let's say he doesn't throw another pick the rest of the way. Let's just say he doesn't, right?
That's bold.
It's bold, but let's just say it's in the realm. But let's just say he doesn't. Even if he throws 1 or 2. That would mean that Jordan Love finishes with 32 touchdowns, 10 picks, leads the Packers on an 8-game win streak to end the year. Are you telling me that's not numbers that could quantify you into an MVP race? Just listen. 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, an 8-game win streak to get into the playoffs.
I don't think you can argue most valuable player to a team when you have guys like, Stroud's doing basically the exact same thing, but as a rookie.
True. Love's numbers are better, but true.
It was either 1 or 2 wins last year to turn it around that much. I think Stroud technically is a much more valuable player this year. But yes, you could have him in the contention for MVP if he does.
And by no means am I saying that that's going to happen or he should win MVP. But what I'm saying is the Packers have their guy. They got their guy, dude. And
they do. And it's exciting.
The last point that I want to make before I hand it over to you is tell me that Matt LaFleur doesn't deserve his name in the hat for Coach of the Year.
Yeah. DeMeco Ryans for sure is going to get it. But
Matt LaFleur turning this ship around, the youngest team in the NFL, turning this ship around from 3-6 to now owning the 7th spot in the playoffs and having a trash schedule that you should win out. Not saying you will, but you should win out.
They should.
There will be favorites in every single one of those games.
Realistically, I think we're going to lose one.
Huh?
Realistically, we're going to lose one of those games.
Maybe. Realistically, I believe we should beat every one of those teams. If we keep playing the way that we're playing, we're going to beat those teams. Those guys are...
Especially when we get Aaron Jones back so we can actually have some run game.
I know. But credit to Dillon. I think he's been good. I think he's been a lot better.
Horrendously inefficient. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you can't use Aaron Jones, or you can't use A.J. Dillon the way that you use Aaron Jones. He's not that kind of run. A.J. Dillon is a third down back. That's what he's a guy, a big boy that you put him there. But Aaron Jones, if he's healthy, is getting 80% of the carries.
Aaron Jones is a third down back. He's the receiver, the one who makes the plays. Dillon's a first and second down guy. Send him up the middle.
True.
But going back to the point of the MVP, I think I just needed to say this. This is on the top of my mind. I realistically think this could be the first time ever we see a wide receiver who could be the favorite to win MVP. Tyreek Hill is doing historical things. He's going to be, he called it 2,000 yards before this year. I truly think the NFL could justify Tyreek Hill as the MVP this year.
I like it. I'm all for it. But we're not done with the Packers yet.
But yeah, Packers. So I just wanted to give a little comparison because we got a lot of hate of saying that, with our last title, is Jordan Love better than Aaron Rodgers? Yes, statistically, you could argue this year he's on pace for a better season, even though they're obviously close to identical stats. If he does what you said, he will have a better first season. Right now, he's 250 of 408, so about a 61% passer rating, 2,866 yards, 22 touchdowns, like you mentioned, 10 interceptions, and a 90.2 rating. Rodgers, through his first 12, 2,897 yards, 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 91 rating. It is crazy how identical the story of Rodgers is versus Love. Rodgers, waited 3 years behind Favre? Love, was it 2 years that he waited behind Rodgers? Or was it 3?
3.
Okay, so almost it's crazy how identical this is looking to be. They have so many of this similar throwing techniques too, the way they kind of sidearm it and really whip the ball. But if he does what you said, Max, it's a better first season than Rodgers.
So here's what I'm gonna say. It's a pet peeve of mine, and I love you to death, so you will never fall in my pet peeves. But you fall into the trap that so many people do. And I'll tell you this right now. I love it. I agree with you 100%, right?
It was your idea for the title last year.
One thing that I want to – I've fallen victim to it too, but one thing that I want to try to do, which will never work, is me and you should start this. A mission for people to stop comparing Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers and for Jordan Love to write his own story. Because what is so cool about this is Jordan Love. There is no quarterback in the NFL that's come in with more pressure than this guy. Like, this guy is a first-year quarterback that is filling the shoes
of Brett Favre
and Aaron Rodgers. All people are ever going to do, and all Chris Collinsworth was talking about all night was comparing Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love to Brett Favre, Jordan Love to Patrick Mahomes. Like, Jordan Love, he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. Is he going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback? I don't know. Could he be? Sure. Could he be an MVP winner? Sure. I don't know. The sky is the fucking limit right now with this kid, the way he's played the last month. The sky is the limit, and it excites me more than you'd ever believe. But yeah. I sometimes get over my head, and I know you get in over your head in the sense of like, could he be the next Aaron Rodgers? Could he be this? Could he be that? It's like, yes, of course, every Packers fan wants that. And it's so hard to not look at those stats side by side and be like, oh, he's the next Aaron Rodgers, right? But Jordan Love is his own leader. Like, he's his own character. He captures his audience in his own way. He's growing this offense in his own way. He's building his own relationship with Matt LaFleur. He's building his own relationship with these young receivers, and he's leading with his charisma, his poise, and his confidence in a different way than Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre ever did. And 100%. It's in a way where it's not putting people down. It's not demeaning people. It's not making people nervous.
It's not cocky. It's not cocky at all like Rodgers or Favre.
He's growing with this young group, and it is so incredible to watch.
He seems like an 8 to 10 year veteran with the way he like carries himself. Like, just no, emotional outbreaks. He's never yelling at guys.
What do you hear every time Rodgers does anything?
Come on, catch that.
Berating his guys on the sideline. Like, oh God, I love the energy of this team, and I said it from the start of the year. Like, this is a uniquely fun Packers season to watch. It's a no-pressure type of season where we're going to get to see the ups and the downs of these young guys growing and learning how to play together. And it's fun. And another point that I want to go in and make, dude, you want to talk about a guy. Maybe after Matt Canada, when Matt Canada got fired, I think Joe Barry became this guy. I don't think anybody takes more heat than Joe Barry.
No, Matt Canada by far took the most.
I know, but he got fired. So I'm saying now Joe Barry. But Joe Barry.
Or Joe Staley.
Is Brandon Staley.
Brandon Staley, sorry.
Joe Barry is quietly, very quietly leading this Packers defense into being something that is not pathetic.
Mahomes never gets sacked, and they had 3 sacks in the red zone in the first half on him.
Joe Barry's defenses aren't allowing a lot of points. And it might not always look pretty. In fact, I'll take that back. It never looks pretty. But somehow, some way, Joe Barry is putting the Packers defense in a position to allow this team to win. And even the losing streak that we had, that month-long losing streak that we had, Joe Barry's defense allowed us to win those games. Those were winnable football games. The Raiders, the Broncos, right? The Falcons, like all those games, winnable games. Right? I mean, all I'm saying is Joe Barry might not have the exit sign out of Green Bay.
He definitely does not. I mean, after this second half of these games, these 12 games, I mean, the defense looks really good.
Chiefs, one of the best offenses in football, 19 points. Lions,
one of the best. Will say, though, the Chiefs are struggling a bit on offense, so we can't give them the full credit that they're a top 5 offense right now because I don't think they are.
Probably not. But I laughed so hard. The refs were rooting for the Chiefs. The refs and Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico were cheering on the Chiefs. They might as well have been wearing Chiefs jerseys.
Every single person before pregame was like, oh, Chiefs, 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 Chiefs. No one even considered the Packers.
Oh, I know. And the funny thing about it is like Chiefs, 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 that late hit call on Patrick Mahomes was blasphemy. Blasphemy. Was that ever a bad call? They were like, let's give the Chiefs a chance. The Chiefs could still win it. Let's give them a chance. Throw the flag. He was fighting for a first down, and he was in bounds. And they called a late hit.
We also, to be fair, absolutely destroyed Marquez Valdez-Scantling towards when he was in the red zone, that deep bomb. And then also at the end of the game when I don't remember who it was, but someone completely shoved Travis Kelce to the ground so he had no chance of even getting the ball for the Hail Mary. A full shove. It was as clear as day. Wow. So they did fuck both teams.
They did, but still, it was very one-sided the whole game until the end there. I think they made a couple makeup calls. But I would say, like, the Packers, I love the Chiefs fans crying about the flags. Like, it's something about it to me that just makes it sweeter that we beat the Chiefs. We outplayed the Chiefs. We played better than them. And here we are. Oh, my God, pass interference. Like, all right, sounds good. Yeah. You scored 19 points. So score more than 19 points and you give yourself a chance to win. Don't go 3 and out when we pump the ball to you and maybe you give yourself a chance to win. I don't know.
I think this puts us, I want to move on to our next topic a little bit and talking about the NFC playoff picture. We had some interesting stuff happen. The Eagles getting the absolute brakes beaten off by the 49ers. What was it, 42-19? They looked absolutely horrible. Are we thinking right now, after the little bad stint the 49ers had, that they're the dominator in the NFC? Are they the favorite in the NFC with how that offense is rolling?
I think it's a no-doubter that the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. I think that the 49ers are the Super Bowl favorites right now. I don't really think it's much up for debate. I mean, they're scary. They're a well-oiled machine, and they just beat the daylights out of Philly in Philly. And I think the Eagles, they've been winning ugly all year. I mean, the Eagles,
their last 2 games were ugly as hell. Like, the Eagles deserve to win.
In my opinion, the Eagles are not a well-oiled machine right now. I still think that they're a really good team. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's just as much his name in the hat as anybody else for MVP. I mean, they got so many good pieces. They got so much talent on their defense, but they have a lot of holes. I mean, I think there are a lot of frauds in the NFL this year. I really do. Like, I think that there are a lot of teams that are fake, that are not really what their record says that they are. Like, I think the Cowboys are frauds. I think the Eagles might be frauds a little bit. I think you got some AFC teams that are major frauds. I think the Dolphins are frauds.
Why do you think the Cowboys are frauds?
Well, they haven't beat anybody good all year.
You can also argue that Dak Prescott could win MVP as well. I mean, Mike McCarthy has transcended as a coach this year, in my opinion. I mean, he's making ballsy-ass plays. I mean, his offense looks incredible. Like, why not the Cowboys?
Beat a good team. I mean, I'd love to play trash all year and stomp them too. That'd be awesome. Go ahead, pad your stats all year and then go lose in the first round of the playoffs like Dallas always does. I can't wait for it. It'll be great. And guess who they're going to play? They're going to play us. And we're going to beat them. And it's going to be
fun. I guess they got absolutely throttled by the 49ers. They lost to the Eagles. They barely beat the Chargers.
They barely beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks are the only team with a record they beat.
31-35. Cowboys, they destroyed the Commanders. They destroyed the Panthers. They destroyed the Giants. All shitty-ass teams.
Prove yourself. Win a big game. Go beat Philadelphia. And then talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah, and then they got the Bills next week, and then they got the Dolphins, and then they got the Lions. Holy shit. Their next 4 games are going to be a true tester to see if they're legit.
I'd be surprised if they won. I'd be surprised if they won 2 games of those 4. I think this, Tyler, we are feeding into the narrative of what the NFL people of the world do. Let's talk about the Cowboys. They're grasping some attention. They're flashy.
Well, I mean, if you really look into it, the teams that they're winning against, they suck. Like, it's true. But also, their next 4 games are incredibly difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to keep an eye on.
We'll have to reevaluate in 4 weeks. But I think you could argue Dak Prescott could win MVP right now. Like, he's another contender.
Yeah, right now. If you look at Dak Prescott's stats, yes. Let's look at Dak Prescott's stats after he plays the Bills and the Eagles and whoever the hell that they have to play over the next 4 weeks. Because I don't think it's going to look as pretty. They'll lose to the Bills. They'll lose to the Eagles. I think they lose they might beat the Lions, but because I think the Lions are frauds in their own ways as well. But I think that they could lose to the Lions. They could beat the Lions. I don't know. But I'd be surprised if they won 2 games of their next 4. I really would. And again, if I'm wrong, all you pod listeners out there, come and attack me. I'm fine by that. But I absolutely hate the Cowboys. I'll always hate the Cowboys. I think that they're pathetic. I think that they're the most pathetic team in the NFL. And prove me wrong. Because I guarantee you, I'm on board with Stephen A. Smith right now. Prove me wrong, Dallas.
Go about them Cowboys. That's what's going to happen at the end of the year. They're going to lose 4 in a row, miss the playoffs, or they're going to get one round into the playoffs and lose the first round.
They're not gonna miss the playoffs at this point. I think they pretty much got that locked in.
They're a 6 seed right now.
Well, right, but
they're either a 5 or a 6 seed right now.
But they're 9-3, and the next closest team is 6-6. So I mean, they'd have to. Well, they might lose their next 4. So I'm not sure, but they'd have to tank to.
I kind of hope they lose out. That'd be pretty funny.
That would be hilarious.
I would love to see a video, a nice 6 a.m. Stephen A. Smith waking up to him doing his psychopathic laugh. About the boys.
It is
about the boys.
It is funny. I'll tell you what, like it's been a fun football season, and I'm going to say, like, the 49ers, they're unbelievable. I think the Lions have holes. I think the Eagles have holes. I think the Niners are the best team through and through.
I don't know what holes they have. I don't.
The Niners?
Yeah, I don't know any holes.
I mean, they are well.
Other than Brock Purdy had a little bit of a bad stretch. Like, other than that, what else?
I mean, Brock Purdy right now, I think, is the front runner for MVP, is he not?
He won't win MVP because he was the last pick in the draft.
I'd love it if Brock Purdy won MVP. But I think Love is too bad. Love is going to win MVP.
Yeah, you're right.
Sucks for them. But I have a hypothetical for you, Tyler. All right?
One hypothetical, and then we're off.
We're done? You're depriving the people of this episode?
We're going long.
I know. Sorry.
One hypothetical, and then we're ripping.
One hypothetical, and then a rip. Packers play the rest of the way. They got – hold on. Let me pull up the Packers schedule quick. Do you have it up?
No.
Let me pull it up really quick. I have it right here.
Good.
Hold on. Play the –
I don't have that.
All right, here it is. Here's the Packers schedule. Okay, here we go. So we have at the Giants, win or loss.
Win. Easy.
At at home versus Tampa Bay in the snow. You think Baker is coming to Lambeau and beating us in the blizzard?
Baker's used to the cold weather, though. Playing in Cleveland.
All right, you taking the Bucks?
The rest of their team, no. They're not ready for it. But I do think we can win that game.
Okay.
That's going to be the closest one, though. That's going to be the closest one where we could lose.
Panthers,
that's a win. They suck.
at the Vikings.
Vikings is another 60-40-ish split. 60 for us, 40% them. Dobbs looked horrible last week, but he also looked great the 2 weeks before.
Win or loss?
I would say a close margin victory.
Bears
win.
Okay.
So
Guess what that puts us as? Guess what that puts us as?
Huh?
Guess what that puts us as? 11-6.
What? We're 6-6 right now. We're not having 5 wins.
That you just gave us all wins there.
No, 1 loss. Buccaneers.
We're not losing to the Buccaneers. We're not losing to the Buccaneers at home in the middle of December. Get out of here. Now,
all right.
Undefeated in December.
10 or 11.
Fine. We'll say 11-6. 11-6 with an 8-game win streak.
No one will want to play us.
Who are you scared of in the NFC? The Niners.
Us? Scared of us?
Who scares you in the NFC, Tyler, truthfully? The Niners?
The Niners and the Packers.
I'm not saying this to be foolish or joking. I'm saying if you win 8 in a row and you finish 11-6, who wants to play you and what team truly scares you? The only team that truly scares me right now is the 49ers. We just beat the Lions and the Chiefs. Back-to-back games, dominated them. The Eagles, they're a good team, but I'll play the Eagles. I'll take our chances. I'll play the Cowboys. That's all I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to end it. Just let people think. And again, knock on wood, we take it one game at a time. We focus one game at a time, and we ride. We ride this.
We ride all day.
All right. Thank you to our loyal listeners. We appreciate it. We'll get this over to our man on the grind, behind the scenes, whipping up the edits. Nick.
Whoa, I was going to say something else. Whipping out
the edits, making our videos look good and making us look great. So we'll get this over to him, and we thank you. Tune in, subscribe, like, follow, whatever.
Count we won all your ridiculous takes.
Cheers.
If you disagree, tell us. Cheers. Intellectual idiots out.